Poland and Sudan are two drastically different countries with one thing in common: equal population size. Although Poland's population was much larger than Sudan in 1950, the two have since converged. In Sudan, the youth population has ballooned, leading to high youth unemployment. Poland's has increased at a much slower pace. In the past 2 decades, its growth rate has begun to decline.
Że rodzi się coraz mniej dzieci i przybywa osób starszych. Jest coraz więcej kobiet w społeczeństwie. Już dzisiaj na 100 mężczyzn przypada 107 kobiet. Ubywa osób do 25 roku życia, natomiast zwiększa się odsetek osób po 60.
Ta przeciętna długość życia rośnie. Druga poważna zmiana, która jest bardzo istotna, to jest spadek dzietności. Kobiety mają mniej dzieci, rodzą mniej dzieci. W efekcie mamy ujemny przyrost naturalny.
Poland's mortality rates started falling much earlier than Sudan's due to higher economic growth. Sudan's mortality has been on the decline, but it lacked nationwide healthcare provisions in the 50s to the 90s. Mortality rates remain much higher than Poland's and among the highest in the world.
Nearly 305,000 children under the age of 5 die every year in Sudan. The majority of these deaths happen in the first 5 months of life, and those who do survive face a possibility of growing up without a mother. This is because nearly 26,000 women die at childbirth in the country every year for different reasons. In most of sub-Saharan Africa, giving birth is considered risky because most women deliver without skilled care.
Poland's epidemiological transition began much earlier than Sudan's. Poland's successful transition into democracy and a market economy after 1989 led to a greater provisions of health services. Since then, life expectancy has been steadily increasing.
To jest największe wyzwanie, jak pogodzić ten proces starzenia się społeczeństwa z tym, że musimy po prostu pracować, żeby systemy zabezpieczenia społecznego, systemy emerytalne, systemy publicznej służby zdrowia, które są finansowane ze składek pracujących.
The discussion tends to be very negative. We have to work longer, so you should. And this is too negative. You should seduce people to work longer. You should change attitudes towards work in general.
The much lower fertility in Poland compared to Sudan is due to a higher prevalence of contraception. In Sudan, religious and cultural factors contribute to the desire for larger families and lower contraceptive use. One reason for the two countries' differing population trends is their widely diverging economies. Poland spends 57% of its GDP on public services. Sudan's economy also grew significantly in the 1990s, but it was fueled by an over-reliance on oil and neglect of other industries and sectors.
Successive governments have failed to link far-flung regions to the center through a modern network of highways, airports and railways. Most of the infrastructure is concentrated in and around Khartoum.
Much of the GDP also has been drained by the country's decade-long civil war. The civil war also caused enormous internal displacement. People living in camps often lack economic opportunities, which has impeded Sudan's progress within its demographic transition.
No improvement, and the condition is going somehow. They no work.
As Poland's population continues to age and decline, it will become increasingly difficult for the government to support the elderly generation.
Wydłużenie okresu aktywności zawodowej i opóźnienie dezaktywizacji, czyli opóźnienie przechodzenia na emeryturę. To jest wyzwanie numer 1, wielkie zadanie, ponieważ ono wymaga zmiany cywilizacyjnej. Drugie wyzwanie to jest kwestia dzietności, czyli myślenie o tym, co robić.
For Sudan, fertility is projected to approach replacement rates. In the next 30 years, however, the population will continue its growth.
The real work is to target, to hunt ladies with risk so that they can be shifted to hospital, they can get better care, they can reduce in that way the complication, including maybe obstructed labor, including emergency cesarean section, including even death.